In Big Brother, what goes around comes around. Kinda like a boomerang. If you're being a jerk inside the house, acting all pompous and mighty, chances are the fans are wishing for your downfall. And sometimes, when the going gets good, karma comes swinging right back at you, and you have no one to blame but yourself. Karma is a thing that every fan dreams of happening. Watching the players you don't like treat your favorite player like crap? Yeah, I hope they get evicted, or at the very least, stub their toe or something. Today, I thought it would be a fun idea to go through some of the biggest examples of karma and reminisce on the times where players got the comeuppance they deserved. So without further ado, let's tally through 10 moments of karma in Big Brother. Let's make it 11, you know the drill. And also, consider subscribing, we're pretty close to 20K, so thank you.
Karma, that's what happens when you're a mean person.
To start things off, in Big Brother 5, a week after the twins of Adria and Natalie were revealed to the house, Adria won the HOH. Although she was aligned with houseguest Will, Adria was craving some blood, so she nominated Will, then orchestrated the vote such that the house would make it a tie vote so that she could cast the sole vote to evict him. Will was understandably a bit upset. His ally, who had all the power, just voted him out, and he was probably pretty annoyed about it. So, on his way out, instead of giving Adria a hug, he said, "If karma's a boomerang, I'll see you sooner than later." And if we're being honest, karma definitely struck like a boomerang. After this, Adria was put on the block in back-to-back weeks. The first week, her sister was evicted, and the second week, she was evicted. So in Will's mind, karma definitely came in swinging.
It's going to be a sad day for everybody, and I evict choose whip. Right
Adria, if karma's, now listen now, if karma's a boomerang, I'll see you sooner than later.
If what?
If karma is a boomerang, I'll see you sooner than later.
Natalie, you are evicted from the Big Brother house. Adria, you are evicted from the Big Brother house.
Probably the most famous example of karma coming back around to bite you in the ass, in Big Brother 6, Kaysar was voted back into the house by America to start week 5. After one of the greatest HOH comps of all time, it was down to just Kaysar and Jennifer in the pressure cooker. Looking to strike a deal, Jennifer promised that she would not nominate anyone on Kaysar's side and instead go for a backdoor on James if Kaysar gave her the win. And after over 14 hours, Kaysar gave in to the deal and let go. So, after building this trust with Kaysar and making this deal, Jennifer goes out and backdoors Kaysar instead. Oof. Kaysar trusted Jennifer and she went back on her word. But what goes around comes around, and right after Kaysar was evicted, his number one ally Janelle won the HOH and swiftly got revenge for Kaysar and sent Jennifer packing in a sweet moment of karma.
So Jen, you have your word?
And we're backdooring James. So we're all after James.
You swear on your life?
Swear on my life. And I nominate Kaysar.
Janelle, congratulations. For the first time, you are the head of household. Jennifer, please hand over the key to the HOH bedroom. Janelle, who is your first nominee?
Jennifer.
Jennifer, please take a seat in one of the nomination chairs. Jennifer, you have been evicted from the Big Brother house.
Look, even our favorites can have karma strike them. It's not taking anything away from them, but it's okay to call a spade and still enjoy players for other reasons. In Big Brother 7, Dr. Will played Janelle for basically the entire season. He constantly claimed to have her wrapped around his finger week after week, and he was a little arrogant about it, all the while planning on cutting her when he deemed ready. But at the final 4, Janelle got the last laugh. After being manipulated by Will into sending home her secret ally Marcellus, and then watching as Howie was evicted immediately afterwards, Erica and Janelle conversed and uncovered the truth of their situation, and then in front of everyone left, she said it's time to stop making mistakes, and she evicted the doctor in 4th place. It's a shame Janelle couldn't make it all the way, but it was still probably a pretty nice moment for her.
Ring. Hello. Hey, Boogie. What up, man? Do you remember a few weeks back when I got my showmance to put up her very best friend, Marcellus, and then we evicted him? Yeah. When I heard who won, Janelle ran over and she kissed me on the lips. This was a huge win for me in this game. What it means is that I'm guaranteed to be in the final 3 because Janelle's going to keep me.
I tell you that you're part of Chilltown.
Yes.
Me too. I hate them.
I hate them more.
I really feel like this summer I've made a lot of mistakes in the house, and after tonight I'm done making mistakes. And for Marcellus and Howie, I vote to evict you, Will. Sorry.
It's official, Will.
Next up in Big Brother 13, we have none other than Jeff. At the final 8, Jeff was looking to possibly backdoor Danielle, so he threw up Kalia and Porsche as pawns, risking their life in the game. But as karma has it, both of them survived, and then the two of them went on to win both final 7 comps during the double eviction. Kalia won the HOH and Porsche won the veto. And then on top of that, Jeff had a blow up with his ally Shelly just hours before the double eviction occurred. And in response to this blow up, Shelly flipped her vote on Jeff and was the deciding vote that sent him home in 7th place. That is a pretty big turnaround.
The first thing I think Kalia and Porsche are gonna do is probably take a nap. I'm putting them on the block to make a statement that it's time to play. Now you're best friends with Danielle because I got my hands dirty?
You're so funny, Jeff.
I'm so funny. I get my hands dirty with a good move. You're the one every week that I'm like, listen, we're gonna win. It's us, it's us. And you're doing plans behind my back?
You have no idea how I'm gonna vote today.
I assume you'd vote with your good friend in there.
Jeff, I think right now you're acting like about a 5-year-old.
5-year-olds run back and forth. I'm straight up. That's all.
Congratulations, Kalia. You are the new head of household.
Jeff, Rachel, I'm nominating you guys for the week.
Congratulations, Porsche. You have won the power of veto. Shelly, please cast your vote to evict now.
I'm sorry, Jeff. You stand between this for my family.
And I think you have the absolute ability to win it, and that's why I have to evict you, Jeff. I'm sorry.
It's official, Jeff. You are evicted from the Big Brother house.
In Big Brother 14, we just have kind of a funny one. Boogie and Janelle had some lingering trust issues, so to say, from their time on All-Stars. In Season 14, Boogie was able to get the upper hand, and Janelle was sent home very early on, and he was, of course, a bit in her face about it. But not just 2 weeks later, Boogie himself was in the hot seat, and once he was evicted, Brittany gave him a goodbye message worthy of giving it its own spot on the list.
Oh, Janie, don't be mad at the people that voted you out. This one was all me. Always the bridesmaid, but never the big brother bride.
He's such a loser.
There anything else you want to add?
Screw you, Mike Boogie. I hope you lose.
Ring, ring. What is this telephone doing in the DR? Hello? Oh, hey, Janelle. No, my Boogie's actually not here, but I was just leaving a message for him. Is there anything you'd like to say?
Big Brother 15 has a freaking textbook of karma examples, but we're just going to focus on the main one. For the 1 or 2 people that don't know, Big Brother 15 was filled with every sort of hatred that you could find. Racism, homophobia, sexism, slut-shaming, you name it. And to add to it, you had individuals being complacent with said behavior. The main perpetrators were Aaron and Gina Marie, but you also had Spencer saying some questionable things, and Andy Herron was also called out for his complacency and some things said towards Alyssa. But unknown to them, they all lost their jobs to varying degrees while inside the house. Erin was let go from her modeling agencies, Gina Marie lost her job as a pageant consultant, Spencer was put on unpaid leave of absence from his railroad job, and Andy was not brought back to teach at his college after the season ended. It was nice to see at least some consequence for what they said. Furthermore, inside the house, Howard, one of the house guests directly impacted by these comments, was able to get a teensy bit of comeuppance. During a have-not competition, Howard was on a team with both Gina Marie and Aaron, and he happily took the opportunity to try and throw it to make sure they were have-nots for the week. Unfortunately, he failed to throw it successfully, but he was still able to purposely pour a ton of disgusting milk over Aaron's head. I'm very happy he got that opportunity.
I know somebody got one more time to flip my bed and it's gonna be all hell in this house.
What you gonna do, girl?
See the black
what you
girl
gonna
come out of
do?
you.
What you gonna say? You want the black to come out? What you gonna say? What you gonna say?
I don't need to.
You guys were all bullying people. Like, I try to clue you in. You're racist on this show, okay? And when you get out of this house, you're gonna have a lot of people hating you.
The ugly comments that you're referring to made national headlines.
With contestants like Aaron and Gina Marie making headlines for using racial slurs and losing their jobs as a result. Because there's been some talk that maybe the modeling contract isn't there anymore.
You know, it's not there anymore.
I end up on a team with Gina Marie, Caitlin, and Aaron. I'm throwing this competition. These are the 3 that deserve it. And if that means I gotta go in there with them, I'm glad to take the bullet.
I don't know what is going on in his head, but I had more of this disgusting milk on my face than in my pail.
Oh, My bad.
More.
Now, I got one for Big Brother 16, but there is some spoilers for some seasons of Survivor and the challenge, so be warned. Alright, in Big Brother 16, Caleb's obsession with Amber was the catalyst that caused Amber's demise on the season. Caleb's feelings towards Amber were kind of creepy and it ruined her chances in the game, but karma came back in more than one way. After Amber was evicted, Caleb got played in the endgame and lost at the Final Four. And then he went on to Survivor twice and didn't make it past day 9 either time, while Amber, unbothered, went on to the challenge and won $500,000 on her first season. Positive karma for Amber, negative karma for Caleb.
Caleb,
Yeah,
what I'm getting is you had me go on the block. It was your doing.
I did.
Thanks a lot, Caleb.
I'm sorry I was not interested in him, and I'm not gonna pretend to be to win some money.
It kills me, dude. And you know, I love you, Beast Mode, but our best chance is sending you out of the house today. I'm so sorry, bro.
Caleb, the tribe has spoken. Now, you're the champions of this season of the challenge, Double Agents.
I just won! Oh my goodness, I cannot believe that I just won this whole entire final.
And you are also $900,000 richer.
In Big Brother 17, this is not necessarily karma, but it's just something that I find so freaking funny and I want to mention it. In week 1 of Big Brother 17, Steve and Jackie were nominated for eviction, but there was a backdoor plan set up for Jace to get evicted. After Steve won the veto, used it on himself, and Jace went up in his place, Jace got very upset. So upset, in fact, that Jace really went in on Steve, saying that he could never win this game, how nobody in the house respected Steve, and that Jace felt unreal betrayed. Fast forward 3 months, Steve is crowned the winner, whereas Jace got the lowest placement of anyone in the history of Big Brother at 17th. It's just a funny little dynamic there.
You're the next target, Steve. They've been playing you just as hard as you've been playing me. Do I have anything to say?
I'm sorry if I hurt you. And it wasn't.
You don't redeem yourself at all, Steve. You don't feel like a terrible person. Because you should. You were supposed to be my friend. You think these people are your friends? You think they care about you like I did? They make fun of you the second you walk out of that room. How are you gonna feel when you go out next week, you get home and you see that I was defending you this entire time? How are you gonna feel?
Now, we all know that Victor was evicted 3 times in Big Brother 18, but for those that don't know, Victor was able to get his karma on both HOHs that evicted him the first 2 times. In week 2, Paulie evicted Victor, but then when Victor came back, he eventually won HOH and turned the tables by sending Paulie packing in 8th place. Right after this, Natalie won HOH and evicted Victor for the 2nd time, but Victor immediately came back, eventually won HOH again, and went on to evict Natalie, getting his revenge on both players that sent him home.
Paulie, as current head of household, you will only vote in the event of a tie. Victor, you are evicted from the Big Brother house.
I nominated you, Paulie.
Paulie, you are evicted from the Big Brother house.
I have nominated you, Victor.
Victor, you are evicted from the Big Brother house.
I've nominated you, James, and you, Natalie.
Natalie, you are evicted from the Big Brother house.
Big Brother 19 was the Paul show, and the only players that really tried to fight against them were Jessica and Cody. Even with the duo trying whatever they could to survive in the house, the amount of beatdown that they were subjected to was pretty ridiculous. They were constantly being targeted by Paul and harassed through bullying tactics all season long, and while it was a big group effort and involved most of the house guests, it was mostly led and orchestrated by Paul in an attempt to isolate and make Cody an outcast. However, it's funny how things all turned around, because not only was Cody the one to cast the deciding vote on Paul losing the game to Josh, but Cody also won America's Favorite House Guest, and then immediately after the season, both Jessica and Cody went on to The Amazing Race and won with a cash prize of $1 million attached to it. That is some wild good and bad karma on both sides there.
Hey, Josh.
Yeah.
Turn it up to 30.
To a 30?
To a 30. Positive everything.
So how about I turn up the heat and see how you respond?
Get out of the kitchen, bitch! I didn't want you out of the
Let's go, let's go.
Why are they all still screaming like we're still in there?
Josh, go out there with the pots and pans, please, and let's keep this party going.
Regardless of how Cody has acted in this game, this is harassment. It's pathetic, and it's bullying.
Cody is the last vote. Congratulations, Josh. You are the winner. Congratulations, Cody. You're America's favorite house guest.
21 cities, more than 29,000 miles. Cody and Jessica, I'm pleased to tell you, you have won the amazing race and you have won the $1 million. Congratulations.
Next up is one of my favorite ones. Like Big Brother 15, Big Brother 21 also has a whole plethora of karma examples. On night 1, Jackson was the camp director and he chose to banish Jessica, putting her entire game at risk. In week 2, Jack was the HOH and nominated Jessica, also putting her game at risk. Jessica managed to survive both of these weeks, and come week 6, Jessica comes out swinging by winning the HOH and nominating both the big guys in a total reversal of power. And then, with both of them clinging to life with the hopes of possibly winning the veto, Jessica turned down $5,000 to take the veto from Jackson, gaining total power for the week and leaving the two people who toyed with her life in the game on the block, which resulted in Jack's eviction. It was such a nice turnaround to watch happen during the season.
I'm so happy that this squirrel did not put a sack over my head. That means that Jack's...
I've nominated you, Kemi, and you, Jessica. We don't talk much game, as well as forming an alliance that I'm not a part of.
That means Jessica is our new head of household. Look who's got the key, baby. I went from banishment to being on the block twice to being HOH, and now I have the power.
But I'm far from happy right now.
I have nominated you, Mickey, and you, Jack. One banished me, one had me on the block. Both of them have made me feel powerless, and I'm taking my power back. And if it means that I'm taking away theirs, so be it.
I would like to trade this for the power of veto.
Hell yeah!
Sorry, Mickey. Bling bling. Oh, hello? Oh, Jack, it's for you. It's the jury house. What was that? They say they're waiting for you.
By a vote of 6-2, Jack, you are evicted from the Big Brother house.
And now we get to the current season. For those that aren't fans of Taylor, well, that sucks because this section is all about her. On the first night of Big Brother 24, within hours, Paloma had already set a narrative that Taylor was a cold-hearted person and that she couldn't be trusted. And this narrative spread like wildfire throughout the house, instantly and permanently scarring the perception of Taylor in the eyes of everyone. But Paloma ended up having to leave the game later in the week due to the house affecting her mental state, and it caused the eviction to be canceled and for Taylor's life in the game to be extended. Then, the following week, Pooch volunteered himself to go on the block next to Taylor in an effort to guarantee her eviction. Pooch was evicted unanimously next to Taylor. Then the next week, Taylor tried being a friend to Nicole in a moment where Nicole was feeling really down, and Taylor basically told her that if things were really bad, that it's okay to throw in the towel. Nicole took this to mean that Taylor was egging her on to quit the game and relayed this information to Daniel, who then went on to completely blow up on Taylor in front of everybody, where he also took the opportunity to blame Paloma's exit on Taylor as well. Although this was absolutely awful, this was the last straw that broke the camel's back that solidified the formation of the leftovers, who were then responsible for sending Daniel and Nicole home over the following 2 weeks. And none of this is to mention the players like Indy, Jasmine, and even Amira, who had said their fair share of things about Taylor, but were then all evicted themselves while Taylor still sat happily inside the Big Brother house. And then there's Kyle. Oh, Kyle, I think maybe it's best that we save the Kyle conversation for a future video where we can dive into things a little bit deeper. Sounds good? Okay, cool. All in all, everybody in the Big Brother 24 house at one point or another had said some pretty awful things about Taylor, and those that didn't reconcile with her quickly had the tables turned on them and found themselves to be evicted. Karma's a bitch.
My initial impression of Taylor is she wants to try to use her beauty to allure men, which is a strategy that is so old. Her demeanor comes across even more cocky when she's not trying to make an effort with women. She's just digging that hole for herself with the girls.
She's pageant. That's why she's trying to get good with the guys. She's full-time pageant. She's full-time since she was out of the womb. Since her mother was pageantry.
Due to a personal matter, Paloma will no longer be continuing in the Big Brother game.
Both of you are also safe.
So your boy Pooch got a little bit of a bold plan this week. It's in the best interest of myself and the house to get Taylor out of the game right now. And the best way to do that is put myself up as a pawn.
By a vote of 12-0, Pooch, you are evicted from the Big Brother house.
I know she's hurting. I just want her to understand that when I see her hurting, game doesn't matter to me. I just care about her well-being and whatever's best for her. If there's a point where you gotta tap out of the fight, don't even consider.
That's not even part of my vocabulary. I was a cop for 10 years. I am a fighter. I don't need somebody telling me to bow out. That's not who I am. Chips before a workout?
Just stop. From this point on, just stop.
With the lays?
No, with your fake. Do not speak to me. No, stop. I will never forget what you did to Paloma. You think she didn't spiral because of you? You didn't add to that? And now you're trying to do it to Nicole? It's not fair. Do not speak to Nicole like that, ever again.
What?
Ever again.
Nicole, you are evicted from the Big Brother house. Daniel, you are evicted from the Big Brother house.
Daniel, I've never been happier to see somebody walk their sorry ass out that door. Oh, and I guess your wish will come true. You don't have to speak to me until finale night.
And there we go. This was just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to karma inside the Big Brother house, as there are many, many more examples themed throughout the show that I didn't have time to touch upon. The thing with Big Brother is that karma is not a guarantee, and honestly, it doesn't happen that often. When you're in power, you have the advantage. So when we get to see a moment of someone acting one way and then having the tides turn on them, possibly even as a direct result of their actions, it can be pretty glorious. And, well, Big Brother 24 is pretty much the epitome of this. It's the karma household. The good guys don't always win, but when they do, it's pretty fucking sweet. Thank you so much for watching. If you're new here, consider subscribing. I, of course, need to give that extra special shout out to all of my YouTube members who I wish only good karma upon, as I have been assured that they have never done a negative thing in their life. And as always, here's a clip for you on your way out.
What the hell is this? I pulled one of the faces out and I thought it was Jennifer Aniston. And when you're pulling up pictures of people who are on your season and you don't recognize them, that means you're not going to do very well at that competition.
I didn't notice that I was missing a whole face, and so I kept running back and hitting my button, thinking I had the combinations correct, not even realizing that I still had a round face in the bottom of my pool.